The room was like the smallest room alive.
Oh, it's awesome, dude. Like, Microtel is a genius idea. Because, first of all, it's perfect for me because I'm habitually lazy. Like, lazy by nature, bro.
Sure,
that's me. And everything was 3 feet from the bed.
Wow.
Like, up to and including the bathroom. So, I was golden, bro. It was like, seriously.
You don't need
pissing from the bed,
yeah. Literally like a hop, and I could get anywhere in the room. Like, I could be, any of the amenities were at my fingertips at just like a half a step.
Actually, we got paid for that show you stayed there, though, didn't we? That was the Fireman's Ladies Night
show.
That was such a fun show.
I've been trying to get back into that. I don't fault them. They do all kinds of crazy shit now.
And they did it the night we were there too. I mean, because they had the probies sing with the aprons on, or in full gear and recite the poem or something. And it was, but we had so much fun. I'm not gonna lie, dude. We walked into that room and I was like, we are in trouble. Because looking at that room, I consider myself to be my material to be pretty broad. My goal is to get as many people in that room to laugh at me as humanly possible.
Absolutely.
You try and get everybody, obviously.
That's a good goal for a comic.
But you have a lot of guys that are like, I'm here to do my thing.
Right.
And if some of you get it, great. And if some of you don't, well, that's your own damn problem, not mine. And there are comics out there, and I respect them because it takes a certain amount of courage to do that.
Sure.
Honestly.
Sure.
And I'm not being facetious. I do respect them. But I'm just so much milder than that. Like, I would really rather have the whole room. But, I mean, we walked in there, and there was people from 18 to 80, and I thought, this is going to push the bounds of my material. I mean, there's no way I'm getting everybody,
Right,
and I was
right.
nervous. I was like, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And that was one of the most fun shows I've ever done.
It was us three, Leif, and Matt Baca.
And Baca went over like gangbusters. Leif did well.
Yeah.
I think some of Leif's stuff, to be honest with you, just went over people's heads. Like, it really, because some of his stuff can be a little obscure.
Too smart
it's
for the room.
hilarious, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was so fortunate because it seemed like wherever I was I had a couple people laughing at what I was saying. So we had, and that's all you can hope for. But I was nervous walking in there, but that was such a fun show.
It was a fun show. You know, it's going to be a fun show when you walk in and they got a table full of Jello shots.
Yeah, that hints at a good time.
Oh shit! And Matt Baca they made him take a tray home, and he was eating them on the way home. He said,
they give him a to-go box.
Because there's always room for Jello.
It's funny and a
breathalyzer.
Exactly. I don't know what it is about Two for the Road or coming out there, but like everybody says, Matt Baca, you don't see him party too much or drink. I said every time we book Matt,
oh God,
him and I just get sloppy drunk together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get you out to the Lamar room.
Yes, I do. I want to play that room.
It's amazing.
I seriously
room.
want to play that room.
But Baca, last time he was out there,
I need a passport though, right? I don't know exactly.
It's out there, bud.
Yeah.
But you know what? One of the funnest crowds you'll face. They might. I don't want to say it. They do amazing.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, to be honest, like you guys seem to find those groups. Because when we played the country club
in Yuma,
me, you, and Steve Young,
yep.
And we didn't have the crowd we were expecting. I don't think.
No.
I think we were expecting more people to be there, and there was probably maybe 20 people. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 20, 30,
somewhere
like
that.
It was a small crowd. It was an intimate gathering.
But they had fun. I mean, we had a good time with them, and they enjoyed the shit out of us with that, because that's the first time that I ever heard Steve Young's bit about if you go to prison for bestiality, do you get conjugal visits?
Okay.
You want to talk about a concept that I think is absolutely hilarious. That
right.
You talked about it before. Everybody has one joke that you wish you had written.
Exactly.
That's the one.
Yep.
Because the tag with that when he goes, Jesus Christ, Young, there's a petting zoo out here to see you. I laughed. I mean, that was ridiculous, dude. That was insane. That was the night you almost choked on that.
Yeah, I'd just taken a drink and he hit that punchline.
Oh God, he hit that tag and it was
I almost
beautiful.
Steve Young, he's so quick though. Have you listened to these podcasts yet? The first
no, I haven't had a chance.
Okay. We talk about you a little bit. We talk about Steve Young a little bit. And one thing is, Steve Young is such a great. He's so quick and you both are. You really both are, Bob. But one thing I'll say about you, and we're going to talk a little bit more about you in a minute, but you remind me a little bit of Carlin when you deliver. Don't you agree, Adam?
There's a lot of worse. There's a lot of worse comparisons that could be made. So thank you.
I mean, you have your own style, but just sometimes the way you deliver things, I think is very Carlin-esque.
Yeah,
I think.
I've noticed it going back and watching some of my stuff. Like if my voice will sort of drop into that. Well,
yeah.
This happened, and that's sort of a that's.
And you're from Massachusetts?
Originally from Massachusetts.
What brought you out here, man?
My wife, my lovely wife, Susan.
Sue's from here.
Sue is not from here.
Okay.
Sue is actually from Lynn, Massachusetts as well. She was going to school out here, and then unfortunately the financial aid got screwed up, so she was out of school. So she was working like 2 jobs, but she wasn't getting any further in her schooling.
Okay.
So she was kind of down, so she decided to go back home and get some things squared away, get some money saved up, come back and complete her education. In the middle of all that, she met me, which shot it squarely in the ass.
Hey, she still made it out here.
And the rest is history. I mean, she gave up so much to be my wife, honestly. Like, it baffles me to this day. I'm pretty sure that part of it is some unfinished community service.
Well,
that would be my guess.
I caught stealing and jaywalking.
Yeah,
Bob's ass.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Gotta take the bobber. So how'd you start comedy? How'd you get into it, man?
I was working for the Fort Collins, Coloradoan newspaper. I was working in their press room at the time, and we printed the local college paper. And when we came in one night, there was some of it, like we call it a web, but it was printed paper that wasn't actually a newspaper yet, and it was just kind of hanging there. And so I saw something caught my eye, and I tore it off, and I was looking at it, and it was an advertisement for a contest in Fort Collins.
Awesome.
To do comedy, and it was at a bar at the time was called Sullivan's.
Okay.
And now it's called Mojo's. It's on City Park.
Okay.
And a guy named Jamie Hancock was putting it together. And we got in there. I put the call out once I actually signed up. I looked at my friend Ed and I said, I should sign up for this before I check it out. And he goes, yeah, you really should. And I said, yeah, let's try that. I have been sober by then, I want to say, for 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow. So you've never been hammered on stage?
No, never done comedy when drinking. It wouldn't work. I know it wouldn't work.
Okay.
It's one of those where it's doable if you're hanging out at Denny's or in somebody's living room, but with me, it's not going to translate to the stage. It just isn't.
To change gears, I guess, a little bit, you got a fantastic joke. Can I?
Yeah, whatever you want, man.
Okay, all right. You got the joke where you talk about how you don't like to drink because you break out in handcuffs.
Yes.
So, I mean, is that why the drinking is
that's part of it. That was part of it, yeah. I got busted for DUI in 98.
Okay.
They pled me down to a DWAI, which is not driving while almost intoxicated, which is what I thought it was, because it's an actual charge. And it was the following year that I quit drinking. I stopped drinking in August of 99.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like a crazy story, like, prison riot story. Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
no. Although, I look back on a lot of the stuff that I got away with, and to be honest with you, it's pretty impressive that I'm still here.
I mean, you joined the club on that one.
Yeah, I guess we all do. Yeah, and you guys are way ahead of me now on the curve because you guys are still pounding them down. But.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
No, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I'll be honest with you. I'm a recovering alcoholic and a part-time drug addict because I can't afford to be a full-time drug addict. And I have yet to find a buzz that hits me the same way as an entire room full of people exploding in laughter at something I say.
Amen.
Like, honestly, it's just different. And I'm not saying. I'm not saying that it's a replacement for alcohol for me or anything like that. But it's just one of those. It's amazing.
Right.
And I hope I never have to give it up. I hope I never reach the point where I'm like, wow, I'm just not that good at this anymore.
So let me ask you this: what's the end game with you? What's the final? What do you want out of comedy?
To do what I'm doing. I was just telling one of the newer guys Sunday night that I have the best of all possible worlds. I can do something that I really enjoy. I occasionally make a little bit of money at it, and I don't have to worry about it paying my mortgage or paying my bills. And so that's just a huge weight that you don't have to, some of these people, especially the people from Denver, because they're the ones that have made that leap more so than any of the guys up here. The people that have made that leap to make comedy their sole occupation or their sole thing, that's a bravery I don't have. And B, I don't think I want it. I think if I made it my full-time job, I wouldn't have as much fun, and I think it would actually show in my comedy.
Just figured out how to do that. Okay, we're good.
Rock on. So, yeah, I like doing what I'm doing. I enjoy the spot that I'm at. So the end game for me is just to keep having fun and meeting new people and having a good time.
That's awesome. And it's okay. We got Rick Bryan, the headliner tonight. Rick Bryan, what's going on? Don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb, baby.
You're going to miss Rick Bryan tonight at the Down Under, but if you want to catch him, what's the website for Rick Bryan? DVDcomedy.com.
Don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb.
He'll sell you a bumper sticker.
Yeah, bud.
That his kid's make in his basement.
Because he ain't dumb. Why pay somebody else to make that shit?
I'm gonna agree with you a little bit, Bob, on one thing. Do you think a lot of comics? Let me ask you this: what do you think is the base you should have to venture out and just do comedy for a living? Other than I don't want to work anymore. I like doing this so much. I mean, you gotta.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I think first and foremost, you have got to have a severe lack of pride because you are going to be doing some shit that you are not going to want to look back on. You know what I mean? And I've seen guys have to go through it. I've been lucky. I've never gone through it. I've never had to, I've never been in a position where I had to play a place outside of I committed to play it, so I'm going to play it regardless of what happens. But I've never been to a point where I've been like, I have got to do this, otherwise I'm not eating this week. And the people who take that risk are amazing to me, man. I honestly, that's the absolute truth. Those guys and women, those men and women are amazing to me. And I have no desire to do it, to be honest with you.
Right.
I like being able to sort of step back from it when I feel like I need to. I like being able to say, hey, I'm not booking anything this month, And sometimes it's not a choice. Sometimes there's just nobody's looking for me that month or whatever, and that's fine. The thing of it is that when you approach it the way I've approached it, you do give up quite a bit because you don't get your name out there as much as maybe you should, and so you don't. I've been booked as a headliner once, and I was sick and couldn't make the show. That was a couple weeks ago, and it's a headliner for an open mic, Patero's Creek Brewing Company, that's run by Jason Novak and Kevin.
Okay, I'm booked on the 30th, I think.
Yeah, I'm coming back. I think they're going to bring me back in early August to do it.
Okay.
But I've never been booked as a headliner, and that's part of me would really like to be. I would like for somebody to come up to me and go, "Hey, we like your stuff, and we'd like you to headline a show," and that's cool. But again, you also don't have that pressure of you're it.
Can you fill a 45 to an hour?
I think right now because I've had time, and a lot of these young guys have pushed me, not so much consciously, but unconsciously they've pushed me to write. So I think I can fill 45 minutes.
Okay.
I would never call it all A-list material, but I think I have enough stuff that's good enough that I would use it to fill a spot, fill a headline spot.
The set you have, I know, is a powerhouse set. We're going to play one of your clips here in a little bit, and I had a hard time picking which one I like.
They're all my favorites too.
Actually, I picked one of my favorites of yours of all time.
Did you?
Want to play? Can we play the clip real quick?
Man.
Is
Yeah,
that cool?
absolutely.
Right.
Sure. Now, just out of curiosity, I want to preface this. Is this the one that when you talked about everybody has a joke that like every comedian you see has a joke that you wish you had written.
Yeah.
This was the one that you wish you had written, isn't
This
it?
is the spelling bee joke you do.
The spelling bee joke is awesome.
All right, let's check this out. This is Bob Gaudet here in Fort Morgan.
911 a story in the paper about a young man who was studying to become an EMT. Wow. Because he suffers from a severe...
Or not. We'll try that a little bit later.
Yeah, we're getting a little interference.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
That's awesome. That's like comedy over a drive-through speaker. That's badass.
What's
Welcome to drive-through comedy.
Right. I used to work at a Wendy's when I was growing up, and when the not so legal people would come through and talk about it, try that out for size. That basic. It was. Then they get pissed because you understand them.
That's
gotta
be like Senor Wences through a talk box or something.
Oh man. To post that joke, I could let you tell, but it's basically about a guy who gets a job as an EMT who stutters.
And it's the hell of it is that at least the first part of the story is absolutely true. I read it in a USA Today. I was working. Again, I come up with a lot of stuff when people are paying me to do something else.
Right.
Like that's part of being the best of both worlds.
Well, I'm going to keep with my promise. I'm actually going to edit that into the very end of the show because that's a fantastic joke. And I picked that joke because at one point in time the crowd's laughing so hard and clapping you can't continue. You actually have to stop your set.
To wait on it, which is that's just brilliant for a comic. That's it.
Right.
Like that's the applause break, and you wait for that. You look for it. But I actually read that in the USA Today, and the story goes on to say about the reason he was able to do this is because it was a surgical implant in the ear or something like that, which of course is not nearly as funny as what I made of it.
Sounds like a fucking shock collar is what it sounds
exactly.
like.
I mean, every time but like, have you ever noticed it always calls to mind Mel Tillis, the country star, because Mel Tillis couldn't speak without stuttering. I mean, so bad that you would watch him just get more and more frustrated, and he could sing. And he never stuttered. So you get at some point you get tempted. It's like, does it work? You know what I mean? It's like, give me the paddles. You know what I mean? It's like, sing that son of a bitch, Mel. Spit it out, you mumble mouth motherfucker.
There was a story about the flu vaccine, and sometimes it affects people funny. And there was this chick, and she stuttered. She looked like she had cerebral palsy or something, unless she was fucking jogging, and then she could talk normal when her heartbeat got up. I remember watching it on 2020, and I remember thinking how I should feel horrible because I'm laughing so hard I'm fucking crying. Because she's like, and then she starts jogging. She's like, so then.